everybody? Bloody good. How's everybody doing on this fucking Sunday, everybody? Chat, we are live a little bit early today, but also a little bit late. I said I was going to be live at 1. Normally, I'm live at 2. I'm live at like 1:40, so my bad on that. But we're live now. We're going to be ripping reacts into a CSGO tournament. How well we're going to do in the tourney, I have no idea. I am a captain, and I have to draft the team at 4:30. So that's probably going to go swimmingly if I had to guess. Chat, any advice? These are the captains. I'm second pick. So I don't know who I should get. A lot of people said Muda. The bottom 4 people, I believe, are like CS pros or like just really good at CS. I was thinking like ideal picks. I only have 3 picks because it's a 4-person team, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 for 8 captains, 8, 16, 20. Yeah, so we all have 3 picks. Ideal picks, like, I'm probably going to have, like, 5 or 6 that I would be happy with just because I'm likely not to get everybody that I want. I think Muda or really any of these 4 people at the bottom. I know Clicks is really good. High Vise, a lot of people say is good. I know Silky's just good at FPS games. Even though he wasn't good at Rainbow, it's just because he had never played it. Bro, I really don't know who else. I wanted to be not a captain so bad because part of me wanted XQC to somehow get stuck with me, and then I would just glaze the shit out of him the entire fucking tournament. Like, that's what I wanted so bad. And then I originally wasn't a captain, and then I'm assuming somebody either dropped or they're like, I don't want to be a captain. So then I somehow got placed as one. I think Yugi would be a good pick. Yugi would be a good pick. I actually think Arky would also be a good pick. I think if you get the Arky-Yugi combo, that's good because they have team synergy. This is like, it's like a Marvel Rivals team up. Right, but the odds that you get both of them are probably fairly low, and I think Jason's going to pick them. Who do we not want? It's like the better... I think Ginge would be great. I think I don't want, like, Deji. I don't know how good Ray is at really... I know Ray's not bad at Rainbow. I have no idea how good he is at CS. I'm not good at CS. I'm, like, level 5. That's why I'm second pick, because it goes worst to best. So Squishy's the best out of the captains. Jinxie's the worst. But I think they just put... I have experience in Val. So, like, I know how, like, these shooters go. I'm just not in CS. And I know, like, the spray is different. Some of the strats are different. Aiden's bad. Well, ideally, like, I'm getting second pick. So I'm getting either Arrow, Muda, Donna, or Moxie. And then it's going to go down the line. They're all going to get taken up. And then I'm probably going to get looped back into this big chunk here. Like, who should be my second pick? That's the better thing. Eliminate these people. Who should be my Don't pick High Vise? Why? I thought High Vise is good at CS. Ginge? I feel like Ginge would be like a third pick. No. He's so washed. Cinna? Chat, I'm gonna be real. I don't think I'm gonna pick Cinna. I think Cinna's either gonna be on Spoit or Squishy's team. I don't think that I'm picking Cinna. Silky, dude, I'm about to ask Silky. Is that cheating? I feel like we should know how good everybody is at the game before we draft. Do you think Jinxie's gonna have like stats on each player? Cause like I would like to know. The majority of the people playing don't have CS experience. But, like, it's still good to know, like, hey, I was Ascendant in Valorant. Like, that's skill transfer, right? Like, if you're good at any, like, 5v5 shooter on PC, you're probably going to be pretty good at CS. At least starting out comparable to, like, the average person. Draft clicks. I feel like clicks might get taken first round. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm probably going to lean to chat a lot. Anyways, we're going to do, like, we're only going to have, like, 3 or 4 reacts that we're going to do because I do want to do a little bit of CS before the tourney actually starts. It starts at 4:30. So, here's the schedule. Today's reacts into a CS tourney. And we're playing that until it's done, and then that'll just be the stream. I have no idea how long it'll be. Tomorrow's going to be a random game day. We're playing, like, Horsey Game, Pawnbroker Sim, a bunch of other random games that just dropped. They'll be fun. If you have any videos you're able to watch games you have to play, by the way, videos, such games, such videos that watch games I play. Maybe games with the guys Monday as well, tomorrow. Tuesday, not live. Wednesday's going to be Marvel Rivals with Kingsman, the GOAT of Marvel Rivals, into a show match, into a horror game. I'll probably be live early Wednesday at like 3:30, maybe 3. Thursday's going to be probably like a 3:30 react day for like 3-ish hours. Friday's going to be a F Cancer charity stream, matching chats donos up to $10,000. We're going to try and raise like, you know, like 15, 20K total. That'd be awesome. You know, whatever we raise, I'm really happy. But I'll be matching donos for that for F Cancer Friday. Saturday, I'm not live. Sunday's going to be a random game day / Ron games with Ron. Next Monday, random horror games. And then next Tuesday is going to be a Dollar Shave Club / COD Endowment collab event / charity. Explain that later. And then I'm gone the 25th to the 30th. Posting on YouTube every day. Then I'm gone vlogging as well / just making YouTube videos. But I won't be live. But then we're back grinding out stream. We got stuff planned for 420, bunch of new game releases. We'll have the Etsy review at that point. We're going to do those tier lists that Becca made and some other. We might actually do the tier list before. I'm not sure, though. Anyways, let me crank through donos. Why are we in sub only? Can we take it out sub only? I feel bad. Fent Dealer, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. For all Rat and Indigo for the sub. It's for the sub. Giga, thank you for the 3 or for the 5. Have you ever used Twitch? Oh, I haven't ever used Twitch because I'm in the world's most dedicated VOD viewer. Hopefully you see this. I was wondering when the fuck cancer stream is Friday. I'm an EST, so I wanted to make sure I'd be able to join. It'll probably be like a 5. Usually charity streams I do like 5.5 hours. It'll probably be a 5-hour charity stream. If I had to guess, probably around 4, like 4 to 9. Los and Ree for the sub. MP, Viru, and Sega for the sub. 1 for the sub. Tammy for the 5. Same guy from yesterday that was playing War Thunder beginning of last stream. I would say I think you should play the game with with a War Thunder content creator. There's War Thunder content creators? Who? Banks, thank you for the 3. Fun fact, modern DC power supplies intentionally convert DC energy into high-frequency AC and then back into DC again. Thank you, Banks, for the energy fact of the day. I don't know why you've been giving me those. Crunch and King, Nate, and Jake for the sub. Burnout and Raymond for the sub. G and CM for the sub. Azu and Just for the sub. Rat and Rye. Twiggy, AO, Joe Barton, Soto for the sub. MC for the 3. Love the content. Thank you, DJ, for the 1,000. But he's for the sub. Gage, thank you for the 3. Beard's looking pretty nice right now. Thank you. It's going to be shaved soon. Ty, Luke, Trevor, and FZ, thank you for the sub. MK for the sub. Up. Counter, Al, Just, Cozy, Foreign, and G for the sub. Matt, Drin, Love, Chico for the sub. Belody for the 3. Yes, News, thank you for the 5. No, not taking a dab. Lish for the sub. Oh, take a dab from 420. We're going to do a weed mystery box for 420. It's not going to be, I mean, if there's like dabs in there, maybe. But I would preferably get like a weed mystery box that has a mixture of like bud and maybe a car, edibles, glassware could be cool just so you could like use it. But yeah, we're going to do a weed mystery box. Are you going to use the volcano? Maybe for like tasting the bud or whatever. I don't know. Lelouch, thank you for the 3. Have you ever listened to Pink Floyd? Yes. Nutella for the 3. What are your takes on... I did not see that. What was that? Was that on like Aiden Ross's stream or something?
Everybody in my chat. Brammer's number 13 has been the best Brammer's I think everyone could say.
For the Joker himself.
No way, bro. They got him in here.
Yo, what the fuck is going on?
Gypsy looks tired, Neon.
Oh, shit. Oh,
my God. Oh, my God.
Who is Super Hot Fire? I know this guy's the dude that says the N-word on Omegle.
Oh, my God.
Hands up, Super Hot.
Let's go, Super.
Get out. Hands up, Super Hot.
Do they get paid for this?
He's coming
Yeah? How much? Who won? I'm not watching the whole fucking fight. Who won?
8 super hot fire.
Okay.
Gypsy Crusader. Decision.
Super.
Out of the red corner, Gypsy Crusader.
I didn't even know this was happening. So I don't have a take on that fight, Nutella. I didn't see it. That was the first time I've even heard they were fighting. Accountant Harvey for the sub. Mega and Indigo for the sub. It's Giga, thank you for the 5. Overtime and Emmy for the sub. Kayla for the 3. Are you scared with your weed there and at... Wait, what? Are you scared with your weed they are and drinking after that man died from his Hennessy bottle being laced with fentanyl that was bought from a legal store? Kayla, what? Are you scared with your weed they are and drinking after that man died from his Hennessy bottle being laced with fentanyl that he bought from a legal store? People are worried that other countries will poison the youth of this country that way. Kayla, I have no idea what you're telling me. I get the latter half where you're saying somebody's Hennessy bottle got laced with fentanyl, but what are you talking about? Am I worried about weed? Joey for the sub, Overtime, and Emmy for the sub, Warren for the 3. I'm not worried about weed at all, no. Dank and Joey for the sub. And who's lacing it? Who laced a bottle of Hennessy with fentanyl? From a regular liquor store? Warren for the 3. You helped me at the moment recovering from chest surgery I had in November. I had a condition called pectus excavatum. Severity is based on the Haller index. Previous was worse. Score of 28. Mine was 54, which is a new record. I should have been dead 5 years ago. Well, that's fucking sick. You're still alive, Warren. And I hope the surgery went well. Hope the recovery's going well, too. Dank and Joey for the sub. Glad you're still here, brother. Les for the sub. All right. Chat, run down to the videos we got today. Les for the sub. What's the most evil company? Jack Pockets video. Long video we got starting out. Fewest world records ever. Humans have athletically peaked. Your life as every rank on the FBI's most wanted list. If we have time, Christmas Eve at the 24-hour Texas truck stop. Short react day today because we got the CS turning in like 2.5 hours. Let's lock in, chat. Let's lock in. Josie for the sub. Clover Lee for the 10 gifteds. Hold up. I got to look up what Kayla said because I have no idea what you were trying to say there. Some dude died from his Hennessy bottle being laced with fentanyl. The 12-year-old boy smoked a dab pen that was laced with fentanyl. Yeah, because he bought that shit from a dealer, bro. And I hate to say it, too. If you bought a Hennessy bottle, like, that's very sad. Like, genuinely rip of the chat. If you're asking me if I'm worried, no. Because if you're buying weed or a dab pen from a medical dispensary where the weed is grown legally in state, harvested, government approved, and then brought into a dispensary, no, I'm not worried about that. Now, if you buy a boof cart from a guy like your town or something, then that's more worrisome. But I've heard about dab carts being laced with fentanyl. I've never heard about somebody lacing a bottle of liquor. I was trying to type really fast, but sorry, you shouted out more donos. No, you're good. But no, I'm not worried about, like, my weed being laced. I used to buy boof carts. Now I don't. I used to buy boof carts a lot. Don't buy boof carts. That's really sketchy. Scary, scary, scary. Cap? Bro, I remember one time. What is a boof cart? Like a fake ghost cart. Or just like a ghost cart that's like, dude, I used to buy like 2-gram carts for like $20. Like $30, you know. Some shit I was like, a concerning level of cheap. Like, it would be, are you stupid? Bro, no, you should not do that. Like, that shit's laced. Like, that, not with fentanyl necessarily, but with something. Or it's just sketchy, bro. Dude, this is when I was younger. My friend used to be like, bro, trust me, I get them from my guy. He was like, you could scan the QR code. I was like, okay. No, not anymore. Now I just go to a dispensary. Dispensaries are also just like, at this point, brother. Clover Lee for the 150 gifteds. What the fuck? Thank them if you got a sub. Thank you for the fucking gifteds, bro. Clover Lee, man. You did not need to give that many subs. Thank you for the fucking gifteds. Young and Supply for the sub. Vargi Nasher for the sub. Clover, thank you for the fucking 150 subs, bro. That's double my daily sub goal. You did not need to do that, man. Thank you for the fucking 150 gifteds. W Chatter. Please don't gift more. That's a lot of money. Thank you for the fucking 150 subs. Badass, thank you for the 3. There's a meme about you that I found funny. Did you ever find the Hills meme funny or creative? Yeah, the first, like, month. Oh, and thank you for the tier 2 cool for the sub. Colt, thank you for the 10 gifteds as well. Thank you if you got a sub. Thank you for the 10 gifteds. Clover, thank you for the 10 gifteds, too. Josie and Les for the sub. Spice and Overtime for the sub. Thank you for the 160 gifteds total, Clover Lee. And Colt, thank you for the 10 gifteds. Yaz, Lil, That Guy, and Celia for the sub. Plubster and IB, thank you for the sub. Chat, we got to lock in. We have reacts to get through before this tourney starts. Let's tap in. Type locked in. Clover Lee, again, if you got a sub from Clover Lee, thank them. If you got a sub in Colt as well, thank you for the 10 fucking gifteds, brother. Clover, that is fucking insane. W goddamn chatter. Let's lock in. What's the most evil company? What's our guess? BlackRock. BlackRock. An airline company. Maybe a fast food. Or, like, yeah, like a Nestle, like, selling water, but also having, like, what else did Nestle do? They own a shitload of
The
stuff.
world's most evil companies are hiding in plain sight. Some build
Bro said Pfizer.
their empires
Those damn COVID vaccines.
with child slaves. Others are watching you as we speak. And one is literally in your blood. But don't worry.
Pfizer. Oh, shit. Maybe. Uh-oh.
Because in this video,
Uh-oh.
you'll see
What? Wait, what? I thought that was a joke.
what the worst of these organizations have been doing behind the scenes. All to find out what is the most evil
I told you, Chud. Okay, shut up.
company. Starting with the largest athletic brand in the world.
Yeah, Nike's crazy, bro. Nike's wild. Dude, all these name brand companies that get, like, child labor to produce... I don't people always say it's not even just Nike. It's, like, most shoe brands. Like, if you wear shoes, no matter how, like, moral of an individual you try to be, you're wearing clothing that was made in, like, a sweatshop. Like, the odds are that you wear or use something that was made in immoral ways. I never wear shoes. You have a phone. You're watching me on a piece of technology that was probably put together using some form of underpaid labor.
Nike, in the 1970s, started making use of factories in Asia, where workers were paid 14 cents an hour,
Holy shit.
exposed to incredibly toxic fumes and physically and verbally abused. Nike initially brushed off these issues until
Dude, what recent brand was it? Nike? What recent brand was it where, like, they had footage of the factory workers, like, basically stitching here, and then they don't go home. Like, they'd stitch their shit here, eat here, and then they'd lay down, like, a mat and sleep in the factory. Was that Temu? No. Shein? It might have been Shein. I don't think it was Temu. I think it was a clothing company.
a 4K image of a 12-year-old Pakistani boy sewing Nike soccer balls sparked public outrage. Facing a tanking reputation, Nike apologized and announced they would be fixing their labor practices, but to this day, they still just haven't stopped doing it. But
My genuine question is what is the statistical difference monetarily? Like, because the company has to be, money motivated to do this. Is it that much cheaper to get humans to, like, hand stitch clothing and shoes versus just getting, like, a machine to do it? I feel like a machine would be so much more efficient at, like, stitching shoes or clothing. It's probably just, like, you get 100 people and that outworks, you know, 3 machines.
So little slave labor really that bad compared to companies who have killed millions, caused drug crises, and even tried to destroy the planet. So to find the most evil
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, like, weigh what company's the worst because they all, like, what level of shit they're doing is in different categories.
company ever, let's get even worse, with a brand you've probably drank before. In 1886, an American Civil War veteran was looking to find a substitute for his morphine addiction, so he mixed together cocaine, caffeine, and sugar syrup into a drink he called
Dude, I wish I could have the original Coca-Cola, just to see. You know, I'm not saying I want to do Coke that bad, but, like, what is the original... You know what I'm saying? Like, what was... Dude, the people that actually just drank Coca-Cola, that shit was... That was just a drug. It wasn't even, like, just a caffeinated drink. Like,
caffeine and sugar.
Caffeine, cocaine, and sugar. Just mixed in a fucking cup, sipping that down.
Syrup into a drink he called Coca-Cola. It was marketed as a cure for headaches and fatigue. It definitely...
Well, didn't soda was originally given to you at, like, doctors or, like, dentist offices, right? It used to not be just, like, a casual drink. Like, soda now is something that you just kind of have, like, with dinner or, like, you're at a restaurant or some shit.
Cured fatigue. But sadly in 1904, facing public and regulatory pressure, Coke had to stop using actual Coke in their formula, and human productivity has never recovered. But as health sciences improved in the 1960s, Coke had a bigger problem. How do you get a health-conscious world to buy canned diabetes? Well, if you're Coke, the answer is
create the modern depiction of Santa Claus.
spend millions of dollars funding corrupt health organizations to push the narrative that obesity is just caused by a lack of exercise.
Oh. Really? Yeah, no, Coca-Cola is one of the biggest... Like, when you think of Santa Claus, you think of the Coca-Cola's depiction of Santa Claus from, like, 60 years ago. Like, every time. When you think of, like, a fat guy with, like, a beard and rosy cheeks, Coke did that. Santa Claus, Coca-Cola, 1931. They made you think that this is what Santa Claus is. The polar bear, too? Well... Yeah, but they made you think they created the design of the polar bear? What are you talking about? Are you saying, like, they associated the polar bear with Christmas? Or are you saying the polar bear, like, they invented the polar bear?
Be against dietary guidelines and sugar taxes, then sponsor the Olympics and professional athletes to subconsciously make your products appear more healthy. Tell the world you don't advertise to children, then popularize Santa Claus with your marketing and put vending machines in elementary schools. Then to
I still don't think Coca-Cola's marketing is as good as Red Bull's. I know Coke's is, like, really, like, fucked and they're everywhere, but, like, dude, Red Bull made it a staple. Red Bull made itself a staple drink that's mixed with alcohol. Every bar sells Red Bull. Every athlete is sponsored by Red Bull. Everything, like, Red Bull is just made itself like this household name. I know Coca-Cola is more known than Red Bull, but Coca-Cola is also, like, something that's widely drank among a larger age range as well, and over the world.
boost your profits, outsource to bottling plants that assassinate union members and drain entire towns' water supplies. Coca-Cola's devious tactics have made them the largest beverage.
Red Bull tastes better, though? No, OG Red Bull tastes like actual shit. I think the OG Red Bull is disgusting. I love, like, a watermelon Red Bull or something like that. But, like, OG Red Bull's gross. Actually gross.
Brand on the planet, giving out 2 billion servings a day, and human arteries have never recovered.
But you know what's better than Red Bull? Gamer subs. Code BART.
But this next company kills you a lot faster than sugar. Boeing. When developing this...
Damn. What, where they were cutting costs or some shit with, like, their plane manufacturing and then they were getting sued for that?
737 MAX realized the plane would tilt upward during takeoff, so they used a software called MCAS to automatically push the tilting plane back down. But adding this system would require extra pilot training, which would be expensive and time-consuming. So to avoid all that, Boeing didn't tell anyone about it, including the pilots.
It's still a mystery tonight what caused this brand new plane to crash into the ocean.
The pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 fought a tug-of-war battle with the plane's computer, finally
Have you ever seen what being a pilot's like from the cockpit in the air? Terrifying. Terrifying. Point of view pilot during turbulence. That's a bad example. That's like a rotary one. I want to see. Hold up, I'm muting this because that's fucking copyright. Like people tweaking during turbulence, and then this is what they see. Just fucking, dude, just literally flying into the fucking clouds, man. Just being like... I know they're not nervous because they can rely on the technology and everything, and they've probably done it 1,000 times, but I would be fucking freaking out.
losing the battle as the plane slammed into the ocean at 450 miles per hour.
After the crash of Lion Air Flight 610, the regulators conducted a risk assessment that estimated there would be 15 more 737 MAX crashes if MCAS wasn't fixed. They didn't release this report. Instead, they sent out a brief memo to pilots with no mention of MCAS and kept the planes in the air. 5 months later, another 737 MAX crashed in the exact same way. The planes were then banned from flying, and Boeing had 346 deaths on their hands. Their market value dropped by 25%. They were fined $2.5 billion for damages and fraud. Their CEO got fired, of course with a little parting gift, and Boeing...
Bro, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And then they get $100 million and they just quit. Like, he's just gonna retire, you know?
Their CEO got fired, of course with a
departs with $62 million.
Little parting gift, and Boeing promised a new commitment.
But there's nothing you can do with companies that big. Because, like, Boeing's, like, the main plane manufacturer for every company.
To safety. By 2020, the 737 MAX was back in the skies, and 4 years later, a door blew off. Luckily, no one was sitting by the door, so there were no fatalities, with the exception of Boeing's reputation.
Dude, imagine being that guy. Door flies off, your chair's halfway hanging out of the fucking plane. I know nobody was sitting there, but that would be terrifying.
Their promise of a new commitment to safety fell apart when investigations found the door had been installed with no bolts. Boeing's horrendous quality control, like using Dawn dish soap as lubricant, hotel key cards to check seals, and scrapped parts as replacements on real air.
Yo, and I know, I always see videos of them duct taping shit, and I know it's like really expensive duct tape, and it's not, it's like plain tape, and it's like speed seal shit. But whenever I see somebody like on the wing of a plane duct taping, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This shouldn't. Are we flex taping the plane wing together? Like, I don't understand.
Aircrafts began getting exposed by whistleblower after whistleblower, a suspicious amount of whom are now dead. Huh. The whole reason Boeing cut corners was to try and make more money.
I know a guy, number one, I gotta say this, not suicidal. Number two, I know a guy that responded to the call of one of those guys dying.
To beat their main competitor. They ended up killing hundreds of people, losing billions of dollars, and getting beaten by that competitor. So Boeing screwed themselves in every possible way, except for their doors. But let's get even more evil with a company that just might play a role in your entire life.
This is probably Nestle.
You're
Gerber?
born, and your first meal is a bottle of baby formula. As a kid, your favorite treats become Kit Kats and Crunch Bars. At home, you eat Hot Pockets.
Dude, I remember when I started bulking for the first time. I had an argument with my teacher, and I was like, yeah, it's just macros. I was eating an entire king-size Kit Kat bar, and they were like, why are you doing that? I was like, I need the calories. And they were like, that's not going to make you muscular. I was like, yeah, it is.
And drink
I would just eat anything, bro. I would just be like, yeah, I just need to get the calories in.
Poland Spring, or Pure Life, or Pellegrino. depending on your parents' socioeconomic status.
Yeah, bro, I hate how, like, one company owns multiple different brands that are, like, competing. So it gives you a sense of, like, option when in reality they're all owned by the same exact fucking person.
As you get older and find your first job, you survive.
Pellegrino is, like, rich people water. Who the fuck drink? I drink Poland Spring. That's bullshit. That or Walmart water. I'm drinking Walmart water or Poland Spring.
As you get older and find your first job, you survive off instant coffee.
Fiji. Bro, I hate people that drink Fiji water. Square bottle. Thinking you're all fucking better than everybody. I just drink. Do you have any Fiji? Like, I'd rather you ask for Voss. I'd rather you ask for a fucking glass bottle of Voss. We drink Fiji water in this house.
And lean cuisine. Then on,
do you also have somebody wipe your ass for you, you fucking cuck?
on your deathbed, you get your choice of feeding tube mixes. Nutrin, Complete, Peptamen.
Dasani. I don't know anybody that willingly buys. Dude, the only places you're buying Dasani, the zoo, an airport. An airport is the only place I'm buying Gatorade water. That's actually the only place. At every airport, I get Gatorade water. Dasani you're getting at, like, the zoo, maybe, like, Six Flags, Disney, you know, somewhere where it's, like, for some reason, that's the only water brand they have.
Then you die, and Nestle loses a lifetime customer. Nestle is the world's biggest alleged food company, and they're well known for being comedically evil. You might have heard of their
Yeah, when you think of Nestle, though, you always think of that fucking chocolate powder with that fuck-ass rabbit.
evil. You might have heard of their extensive use of child labor. In 2001, the US tried to fight back against this by making a law that required slave labor labeling on chocolate wrappers. But Nestle and their cronies lobbied it out of existence. They instead pinky promised to phase out child labor by 2000.
Yo, lobbying? Isn't there only one part in the entire world where, like, lobbying's illegal? And it's, like, somewhere in southern Australia. I think, like, lobbying in general, what is lobbying? Companies paying politicians to get what they want, effectively. It's like donations to a party, but it's effectively like money to incentivize. Where in Australia is lobbying not legal? As of July 1st, 2025, South Australia implemented a ban preventing political parties, candidates, MPs from accepting donations from lobbyists, businesses, and unions. That's what you need, bro. Because once you start paying a guy, it's like, okay, that's not actually what he thinks.
2005. After missing that deadline.
So it's just slavery. No, lobbying isn't slavery. They had... I mean, that's why you hear Mr. Beast all the time with Feastables going slave-free... like, labor, right?
They delayed it to 2008, then 2010, then
What the hell is lobbying? I don't know, Abs. It's like we were just fucking talking about it. Sorry. Bit of an outburst.
2020, they'll get to it one day. You might have heard of Nestle draining water from water-struggling communities using cheaper expired permits, then selling it back to them in overpriced plastic. But Nestle's most evil tactic began in the 1970s. In order to expand the market for their baby formula, they sent saleswomen dressed as nurses to developing countries to promote the product as a superior alternative to old-fashioned breast milk. Not only was this not true, but formula has to be mixed with water, and Nestle was promoting in places where water was contaminated. Nestle targeted these families with free samples that lasted just long enough for the mother to lose her ability to produce breast milk, leaving her no choice but to continue buying the formula. What resulted was a massive amount of breastfed babies switching to formula and getting sick. It's estimated.
Isn't it, like, really good to breastfeed your baby too? Aren't, like, breastfed babies smarter on average than... That's like a fact, right? Like, breastfed babies have, like, a higher IQ than, like, Nestle babies. What IQ different? You know how I learned that? From The Interview. No, not The Interview. What's the internship? Because I watched, that's how I learned that. The internship with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. Because the guy in the movie goes, well, I'm smarter because I was breastfed. And I was like, that can't be real. And I Googled it. Is your IQ higher if you're breastfed? Oh, it's only 2 to 4 points higher on average. Children who are breastfed for 12 months or higher have higher IQs, better educational attachment, and higher incomes at age 30. So that one kid from Grown Ups is probably like a super genius, right?
That Nestle's campaign caused over 10 million deaths, but something a lot stranger happened in China. In 2008, the Sanlu group secretly added a chemical called melamine to their baby formula to boost its protein count. This contaminated formula caused health problems for over 300,000 children in China, and 6 of them died. But unlike Nestle, the Sanlu executives faced criminal punishment. Some of them were sent to prison, but 2 of them were sentenced to death. After getting millions in compensation claims from victims, Sanlu declared bankruptcy and was fully dissolved. Nestle caused much more damage, but their alleged food company is still thriving. Nestle is a strong candidate.
What else do they own? Ralph Lauren? Or Ralph Lauren? Ralph Lauren, L'Oreal, Nestle, 30%. Nespresso, Coffee Mate, Nesquik, Gerber. Gobstoppers. Bottle caps. Ain't nobody buying those fuck-ass candies. Runts. The hell out of here. A goober bar. A goober bar.
Still thriving. Nestle is a strong candidate for the most evil company ever. But this next company is evil for a very different reason. After 9/11, the United States launched the biggest mass surveillance program in history. It was called Total Information Awareness, and it was made to collect and monitor everyone's private data with the goal of finding terrorists before they could act. But after public protest, it was shut down in 2003, and the US narrowly avoided becoming a dystopian surveillance state. A few months later, 2 guys founded Palantir.
Damn, you think there was a chance we would have had like social credit scores and shit?
One of those guys was PayPal billionaire Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
The other guy was philosophy major Alex Karp.
I spent a lot of time talking to Nazis, like real Nazis.
After getting funding from the CIA, they would end up building Palantir into one of the most controversial companies ever.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
So,
what? What?
Is used on occasion to kill people.
So, what does Palantir actually do? Large companies, as well as countries, collect a lot of data on their customers.
Oh my god, is Palantir like a parent company that like processes this data and then sells it to other brands?
So much data that they can't make any sense of it. This is where Palantir comes in. They'll analyze all that data with AI and put it into one platform designed to help make actionable decisions. It's been used on everything from helping allocate resources after disasters or during pandemics, to optimizing the Wendy's supply chain, to spying on employees at JP Morgan, to workplace deportations and predictive policing. But if you happen to have an all-powerful tool that will analyze an infinite amount of personal data, you could also
sell it to the Russians!
Use it
To scare enemies and on occasion kill them. Put the fear of like death into our adversaries at any random moment. Why do we wait till our enemies attack?
They need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. Something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins.
We'll go after your assets, we'll go after everything. We can keep on going for generations.
Palantir's biggest market is war. In the US, they get paid billions of dollars to make the American warfighter fight the way they were born to fight. In Ukraine, they handed over the kill chain, a software that handles everything from finding a target to destroying it. With Israel, Palantir helps power the military's war machine. Their work is very secretive, but we do know that they're pretty good pals.
Your AI and your technology from Palantir kills Palestinians!
Mostly terrorists, that's true.
Palantir is just a tool. All it does is analyze other people's data. But the strength—
Don't you think, how are motherfuckers, dude, I don't know, in, modern day, getting up on stage and just saying shit like that, I'm like, yo, how are you not worried you're gonna get, assassinated? You know what I mean? Brian, what was his name? Brian Thompson, CEO, gets assassinated. You see all this other shit. I'm like, dude, you can't just be up on stage being like, yeah, well, our company does murder people, so. Just like casually.
This tool and how it can be used give it a concerning level of influence.
Our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
Palantir pretty much.
Somebody said or canceled. That's different. He's not getting, dude, he's a fucking billionaire. Cancellation is a social media based thing. He owns a company.
Much markets itself as evil, but another company you would never expect.
Worried about being canceled. He has a fucking multi-billion-dollar contract with Israel and the United States.
Is even worse. In 1899, two banana businessmen merged together to form the United Fruit Company. Their first course of action was conquering Central America.
Oh my God, what's the name of the banana company? What's the name of the banana company that produces like the majority of the bananas in South America? I had to read it. I had to read something about this. Chiquita Banana.
They bought up.
What did they do? Slave labor?
Land, built entire towns, and took control of infrastructure in places like Guatemala,
oh, Dole is another one.
Honduras, and Colombia in order to exploit their populations for banana production. These pimped out countries became known as banana republics. Conditions for workers obviously sucked, so in 1928, they went on strike with a list of demands. United Fruit refused to negotiate, and instead went over to their boy the United States, and they were like, we're in trouble. Our workers are revolting. They want us to pay them in money instead of coupons, and get a 6-day work week instead of 7. Dang, we'd love to help you, but we're a bit.
That's like not even that crazy of demands. Hey, instead of working every day, could we have 1 day off? No.
Preoccupied with rich white people activities. So,
yo, actually seeing some of the dances from the Roaring 20s pisses me off. Like the flapper dances where they go. And they move like that. Why do they move like that?
So if you'll excuse me. Wait!
Yo, Clover for the 10K biddies. Love watching you with my fiance, just here to support. Well, thank you for the fucking biddies, bro. Thank you for the subs as well from earlier, bro. Appreciate the fucking bits, man. Big thank you for the 3. Do you see the new Backyard Baseball? Yeah, we're going to play it when it drops. Miss Galaxy on 1 and Panther for the sub. Yaz, Ajon, GV, and Corn, Walingo for the sub. Clover, thank you for the 3. Well, watching your videos with my fiance, recently went to boot camp. Watching you has cheered me up. Just want to show support. Well, thank you to your fiance for their service, number 1. And number 2, thank you for the fucking biddies, and thank you for the subs as well. I wish you and your fiance the best. Verse and Easy for the sub, Jazz for the 3. You gonna keep the beard? No, we're gonna shave it for the charity stream. Easy and Lulu for the sub, not F Cancers, the one on the 24th. Easy and Ethan for the sub. Nicholas, thank you for the 3. Jazz, Easy, Emblem, Tox, and Judd for the sub. Y'all, thank you for the 3. My girlfriend, Eladia, and I love watching you. Could you say hi to my husky, Kalua, for us? Hello, Kalua. They, Astro, Verb, and 4 Elias for the sub. Brawl, German, Rez, thank you for the 5. Gifted, Twizzy, Brawl for the sub. Arch, thank you for the 5. Got off a 12-hour shift to stream. See Joe's stream. Dup. Big and Iron for the sub. B, Walt for the sub. Nat, thank you for the 3. My girlfriend says hi. She loves you. Hello. Easy and Jacob for the sub. Net and D for the sub. And thank you for the 3. Happy birthday, and I'm not playing Slime Rancher 2. Hex and Codex for the sub. Sammy and Riv, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Easy for the sub. Sharky and Magnus for the sub. Perky, Plub. Clover, thank you for the gifteds again. Perry and Brady for the sub. Gun X, Misty for the sub. Lock in.
They're communists.
Wait, they killed a bunch of the workers? Oh my God.
After indirectly rampaging their own workers, the United Fruit Company did it again. But this time, they got the US to overthrow the Guatemalan government and replace the leader they didn't like with a dictator who assassinated a bunch of people. Then he got assassinated, and Guatemala went into a 36-year-long civil war that killed almost 200,000 people. Dang. We'd love.
I would say that's probably the worst thus far. I don't know if he's going in a scaling order, but Nestle's was really bad. Palantir's really bad. I mean, a banana company literally caused an overthrow of a government, 36-year civil war, and hundreds of thousands of dead people.
To help them, but we're a bit preoccupied with bananas. United Fruit would later rebrand to Chiquita Banana, leaning into the friendlier theme to distract you from their country-destroying imperialism. Chiquita has generally stayed out of trouble, only doing small things here and there, like giving millions of dollars to paramilitary terrorist organizations. But banana companies aren't the only ones messing with entire countries. When Facebook went public in 2012, almost everyone with internet was already on their platform. They needed a new way to expand, and
dude, do you think Facebook dies off one day? I feel like newer generations aren't going to use it. I think there's going to be a pivot to Instagram, but I just wonder, because like Facebook's like a backbone for Meta, and it's how they get a lot of info and a lot of data, a lot of money. But I feel like Facebook in general it already did. Yeah, I know they pivot to Instagram now, and that's what they're like heavily focused on with Reels because they want to compete with TikTok. But it's just like I don't see a use for Facebook anymore. It really Facebook Marketplace ? Yeah, Facebook Marketplace where you could buy a fucking old PS4 for $25 with dust all in it from some sketchy guy, 9 miles away. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is really gonna be the backbone to holding that fucking company up. No.
Zuck had the perfect idea.
Do they even make money on that? Facebook Marketplace, I feel like they probably get such a small percentage.
Yeah. He started internet.org, which would bring internet to developing countries through Facebook.
I was on a Discord with my friend like 5 days ago, and he's like, I'm thinking about selling my Switch. And I go, really? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this machine that just like rips all the games. He's like, I'm going to go list it on Facebook. Lists it. 10 minutes later, he goes, I just took a deal. I'm like, you already sold it? He goes, yeah, I'm bringing it to him tomorrow.
Facebook products. His new customer
I was like, that's fast. I was like, that guy bought your Switch in like 10 minutes?
acquisition conquest began in Zambia, then the Philippines, India, Colombia, Myanmar. Wait, what? There's a problem in India. Like a serious problem. They're using Facebook to spread fake images claiming that Buddhists are massacring Muslims and it's leading to riots where people are dying. Oh no. Keep going. Expansion continued until Facebook had conquered 100 million new users. But this is where things started falling apart. See, Facebook's moderation technology didn't work properly with different languages, and their moderation teams were incredibly understaffed and clueless about local culture. This lack of oversight led to Facebook becoming a propaganda tool for dictators in places like the Philippines.
That's not even just in the Philippines and India, dude. Didn't that happen in the last election? Wasn't it proven that there were like Russian accounts that were like actually just propping up political propaganda about the United States and other countries during the election in 2020 and 2024?
In Cambodia, the Sri Lankan
to like the average American, and then they were just like getting lied to from like some random account from another country.
Government accused Facebook of failing to control posts that contributed to deadly riots.
I thought that they were getting sued less because of the fake news problem that they weren't shutting down, and more that Mark Zuckerberg and Meta were like selling people's data.
With Ethiopia. And in Myanmar, Facebook played a determining role in a genocide, according to the UN. Facebook themselves admit they didn't do enough to protect their foreign colonies. But the bigger problem is that their entire platform rewards the most harmful misinformation. And leaked documents show Zuck rejecting potential fixes to this problem because they would reduce user engagement.
Facebook has realized if they change the algorithm to be safer, they'll make less money.
Facebook claims their goal is to bring the world closer together, but reckless expansion and an engagement at all costs approach has in many cases brought the world further apart. But to answer the question of the most evil company, there's an entire sector we need to look at. Oil companies. Here's what they're up to. Shell ravaged the country of Nigeria by supporting violent militaries and introducing the population to flavored water. BP caused the biggest oil spill in US history when their rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. But the worst oil company
didn't BP also, British Petroleum historically that was like one of the videos I linked to my chat when we were talking about oil. BP originally founded itself by like scamming leaders in the Middle East to give them like bad deals on oil land. And then it started like this whole, not black pill. No, it's not black pill. It's British Petroleum. BP got its roots in the Middle East.
Ever spawned into existence in 1911.
From giving like bad cuts. They would take like all the profits, lie about how much money they were making, and then giving the leaders in their countries less. So they were just like siphoning money out of countries.
When Rockefeller's Standard Oil got split into 34 pieces, a few of those pieces merged together to form Exxon, which later merged into ExxonMobil. They're now the biggest US-based oil company.
I still have the take that being Rockefeller, being like that turbo rich at that time was like the worst time to be the richest guy, you know? Now you're Elon Musk, you know? I'm not like supporting billionaires. Obviously, I've ranted about billionaires before, but I'm saying if you were a billionaire, being a billionaire now, awesome. Being a billionaire in the 1900s, also awesome. But like, you don't have electricity. You don't have, you know, a lot of like, you don't have like modern goods. You have electricity. You don't have like refrigerators and shit like that. Like, you're just like, you're living in like older times. Like, when was Rockefeller had to be born in the 1800s? Yeah, 1839 to 1937. So like when he was in his 40s and he was like turbo rich in his 50s, like what was he spending his money on? Women? I mean, he was like in his, he was what, like in his late 20s, early 30s for the Civil War? Brother was alive during slavery. Yeah, probably like drugs and then just like, I'm going to look that up. What did Rockefeller spend his money on? Large-scale strategic philanthropy focusing on education, medical research, and public health. Okay, what else? Extreme frugality. Hate that shit. He was known for his extreme frugality. Who's the dude that owned IKEA and died? Ingvar Kamprad, who like lived in a house that was like 100 grand when he was worth like $10 billion. And so many people are like, so commendable. I'm like, brother, that's like lame. Like, philanthropy is awesome, right? Like donating money and doing good things. I'm saying outside of that, like just hoarding, like people would be like, I respect the frugality. You know, he just wants to save. Save $10 billion. Save $10 billion. Go buy a yacht, you know? Fucking spend some money. Like, obviously donating the money. Yeah, if you want to donate all the money, do that and then have frugality. But like, what's the point of frugality if you're not donating the money? If you're not using the money and like, why? You know?
Company producing 3% of the world's petroleum. And they are everything wrong with the industry. They, of course,
his kids. Generational wealth is not billions of dollars.
Have sketchy relations to overseas abuse, as well as their own.
Most billionaires get obsessed. I'm not saying this specifically of the owner of IKEA. I don't know a lot about him. I'm just saying billionaires in general get to a point where they're so rich that, like, yeah, they blow money on stuff, but it becomes less about, like, needing money to buy and do certain things, and more so the obsession with being richer than everybody else. It's like a level of power.
Industry. They, of course, have sketchy relations to overseas abuse, as well as their own historic oil spill, where they fought against paying out penalties for 14 years. But Exxon's greatest evil affects the entire planet, because back in the 70s, they conducted internal research that found burning fossil fuels was influencing the global climate in ways that would be potentially catastrophic and irreversible. Having a product that's actively cooking the earth is a big problem. For the marketing department, Exxon proceeded to spend millions of dollars in support of climate change denial. They funded science-denying front groups and bought an advertisement in the New York Times every week for 30 years to mislead people on the studies they themselves conducted. Exxon's early predictions of global warming ended up being more accurate than NASA's.
You think any viewers of yours are billionaires? No. No. Dude, there's like 3,000 billionaires in the world. Well, wait, hold up. Yeah, no. How many? I think there's like 3,500 billionaires. Mariah Carey's son. Well, it's not him. And Mariah Carey's not a billionaire. I assume.
But
Mariah Carey probably has like hundreds of millions of dollars. But not a billionaire.
Weren't in the business of working towards a fix.
I don't know. I mean, like, do I know? Like, I don't know. There's no Twitch stream. The only streamer that I think is a billionaire or was before the Bitcoin crash was Trainwrecks. Like, I think Trainwrecks TV probably had around like 1 to 1.5 billion. XQC's not a billionaire. XQC probably has like 500 mil. Maybe less, but like he's in the hundreds of millions.
Exxon's especially evil because they put the planet on the line, but so did another company.
Something wrong with this cow.
What the fuck?
And they keep trying to tell me there's nothing wrong with these things.
In 1998, a farmer in West Virginia noticed his animals dying from disturbing symptoms. This farmer happened to live near a landfill for the chemical company DuPont. He hired a lawyer who took legal action against the company, demanding internal documents. They sent back 110,000 pages, just to be annoying. But the lawyer read through all of it, and what he found—
What? What? He read 110,000 pages of documents.
—was more disturbing than what anyone could have imagined. In 1938, a DuPont chemist accidentally—
That had to have taken years.
—discovered an impossibly slippery substance. They called it Teflon, and they sold it to the world as a miracle nonstick coating. Soon, it was in nearly every kitchen in America.
Oh my god, wait, no, what was the company that helped make, fucking, Agent Orange? That's one of the most immoral companies as well.
In order to create Teflon, DuPont used another chemical called PFOA. This stuff doesn't naturally break down. It's pretty much indestructible. It's a forever chemical. DuPont was slightly concerned about this, so they began conducting internal studies. What they found was that PFOA would kill animals in a single dose, was linked to birth defects and cancer in humans, and was highly toxic. When these results were shown to the execs, they were like, "Dear God, we can't have our chemicals killing people. I know it's terrible. We need to—" I didn't finish my sentence. We can't have our chemicals killing people, getting in the way of our business. What? Don't release any of these studies publicly, and don't tell the regulators. We're making $1 billion a year in profit from this. It's too risky for us to stop. Plus, I think we'll be fine. I mean, it's not like we're dumping this stuff into the environment. DuPont was dumping so much of this stuff into the environment that they had lost track of how much they had dumped. They were doing all of this despite being clearly warned not to, and it was this dumping that killed the livestock in West Virginia, which resulted in the lawsuit that exposed everything. DuPont had to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements, and they began phasing out these chemicals, but it was too late. 99% of people on Earth now have forever chemicals.
Because of this company?
Or PFAS in their blood, thanks to DuPont.
What? We all have fucking chemicals in our blood because of DuPont. I'm the 1%. No, you're not. If you live in the United States, dude, it's probably, you know who doesn't have forever chemicals in their blood? Icelandic people. People in Greenland. The fucking, the people, what's the island under Sri Lanka? North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinelese don't have forever chemicals.
DuPont and a few of their business pals. Most people have levels that are of lower concern, but millions—
Medium risk, 89% of people
have amounts that put them at a higher risk.
Wait. How do I get this shit out of my blood, bro? What do you mean? How are you getting this shit in your blood?
Of cancer and other complications.
What?
Forever chemicals are decreasing in use, but they remain—
Oh my god, the dots are all over New Jersey. I'm cooked. What the fuck? I can't even see the state. It's over. It's over. It's over. Why are they all over New Jersey, bro? It's everywhere. Why is that big of a concentration of dots right there?
A problem. And because so many—
Brother, what?
Chemicals are decreasing in use, but they—
Oh my god.
Remain a problem. And because so many regulators have ties to chemical companies like DuPont, they might be sticking around.
Yo, nah, I'm actually about to crash out. What the fuck, dude? In our drinking water?
But this next company also messes—
How does it get worse than that? How does it get worse than that? They've poisoned fucking the entire world. What?
With our health in a more evil way. Imagine there's a button Every time you click it, you make $10,000. But a random person dies. What would you do? A normal person would get hesitant. A health insurance company would get an auto clicker. See, for United Healthcare, this isn't a random button. It's a denial button. And it's not hurting random people. It's hurting people who've been paying United thousands of dollars a year for insurance, under the promise that when they get sick, United will cover their expensive medical care.
Yeah, it's wild that we pay for insurance for a company to just potentially deny that.
Auto clicker also exists in real life. It's called
I have United. Oh, damn. Somebody put I have United heartbreak emoji.
Predict. It's an AI tool that automatically rejects people's requests for medical treatment with an alleged
90% error rate.
Error rate. Armed with this tool, United is infamous for its denials. The most cited number is that they deny 33% of treatment requests, but this was based on pretty incomplete data. United doesn't release their actual numbers, and they tell employees not to answer questions about their decision making, so we don't have much information. But we do know that 1 in 3 doctors have seen insurance delays lead to a serious adverse event, anything from hospitalization to death, with many doctors complaining specifically about United.
Bro, I hate insurance companies, man. Like, I don't want to get on this fucking like woke wave again where people are going to be like, oh, you're a fucking liberal idiot. But I'm like, bro, why are we paying a middleman for insurance that doesn't even actually help you when you need it? Like, we're paying into this insurance company, and then when you're actually like 80 years old and you're like, hey, my heart stopped, I need to get fucking surgery. No. No.
Life-threatening condition, you have insurance, it should be covered, period. Yep. And they are fighting it.
She now owes $100,000.
With technicalities, this is United Healthcare.
Apart from denying to do the one thing they promised to do, United also gives secret bonuses to try and keep patients out of hospitals, because each hospital visit costs them money. United claims this prevents unnecessary care, while whistleblowers say it puts elderly patients in danger. But United is much more than an insurance company. See, ever since 2011, insurers have...
Well, and you also, it's like, it's not even just with health insurance. It's like any insurance, they wager how, like, you are as a person and how many problems you're going to have. And then they change how much you have to pay. Because, like, for example, men have higher car insurance payments or premiums than women. Men are more likely to get into fatal car crashes. Like, women are more likely to get into fender benders that cost very little, so they're not worried about it. Men will get into it. Men will crash into it, wrap their car around a tree, and total their fucking car in a high-speed collision, right? So you have to pay more. But the problem is, like, you pay more into an insurance agency if you have more health problems, yet when you actually need to get help, they don't go, oh, well, you paid more to offset that. They just deny you. So you're paying more for nothing.
Been required by law to spend 85% of the money they collect from customers on their actual medical care. So United does actually pay out a majority of their revenue on treatment requests, but they're okay with this because
I feel like girls crash more though. Did you listen to what I just said? Lemon? Did you listen to what I just said? Women on average get more into fender benders than men. Women are more likely to get into like a 20-mile-an-hour car crash. Men are merging, hitting a Jersey slide on a highway going 85 and ramming into the back of a Ford F-150, flattening their car and killing 3 people, right? Like, that's the difference between, like, the types of drivers, right, that you have. So, statistically, they might be worse in car crash percentage, but the level of damage that they're doing is less.
Many cases, they own the hospitals that get the money.
I'm a woman and I drive hella fast. I'm not saying per person, right? I'm not saying women don't drive fast. Women can't get into high-speed collisions. Also, why are you bragging about that? I could get into a high-speed collision. What are you talking about? Okay, yeah, I know. I'm saying, like, this is how they're just basing how much you have to pay off of. I gotta look up the stats on that. It doesn't say statistics. Women cause more fender benders on average overall. There's a clear trend that men cause many more fatal accidents or higher injury rates. Men are more likely to get DUIs, drive at higher speeds, be impaired while driving, and do higher risk maneuvers. Women are more likely to get in a fender bender navigating tight parking spaces like parallel parking or driving in urban areas.
United is affiliated with 10% of all the doctors in the US, and their pharmacy company controls 20% of the market. So United...
Sorry, I gotta rewind.
Affiliated with 10% of all the doctors in the US, and their pharmacy company controls 20% of the market. So United collects insurance money, then pays it to their own medical care providers at inflated rates. But even more insane is that United also owns a company that supplies medical loans to doctors and patients. So if United denies to pay your medical bill and you have to go into debt to afford your treatment, they make money off that too. The healthcare system in the United States has a lot of problems, and the United Health Group makes money off all of them. But while United plays a part in a troubling industry, other companies create industries that harm even more people.
This is a man who smokes Marlboro cigarettes.
Marlboro cigarettes? Well, I mean, at that point, you could get into, like, any alcohol company. It's technically harming people. I think, like, older cigarette companies that used to get doctors to be like, this is 9 out of 10 doctors approve Marlboro red filters.
What kind of a man is he?
In 1954, tobacco conglomerate Philip Morris created the Marlboro Man.
I smoked a cigarette the other day when I went bar hopping.
Most influential marketing campaign in history. Rather than advertising through
it was like a brain worm.
Information, Marlboro advertised.
I know, I deserve the booze.
Through lifestyle. The Marlboro Man was masculine, rugged, and free, unconcerned with non-manly things, like getting cancer. See, in the earlier 1950s, studies began linking smoking to lung cancer, and sensing danger, all the top tobacco.
That's 4 now, Joe, what the fuck? I've smoked way more cigars. I've smoked like 12 cigars.
Tobacco CEOs met up at a hotel. They knew they needed to work together, but they also knew advertising alone wouldn't save them, and neither would attacking the anti-smoking research. What they needed to do was take control of the science.
That's different? No, it's not. Everybody goes, well, you inhale cigarettes, you don't inhale cigars, so it's like, it's not as bad. Yeah, cigars also about yay big. a cigarette's like, they're both cancer-causing, like, cancer sticks, right? But one you're inhaling that's this big. Dude, I've smoked a cigar. When I was in the Caribbean, I smoked a cigar that was about that thick and about this long.
A full-page advertisement.
And that shit stays in your mouth, bro. Having cigar breath is disgusting. Disgusting. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't enjoy smoking a Cuban, but you smoke a cigar, the next 2 days, you'll wake up and you'll just go, tobacco.
Ran in over 400 newspapers.
It's like beer breath, but like 10 times as worse.
The Tobacco Bros gave a frank statement to
like nauseatingly bad
cigarette smokers, where they cast doubt on the current
tastes like coffee breath, worse. I have coffee breath right now.
Research and announced their very own Tobacco Industry Research Committee, which would be run by scientists of unimpeachable integrity that they hand-selected.
Only cigar I'm smoking is for a blunt. Yeah, what, taking the tobacco out of fucking, oh my god. I haven't smoked a blunt in forever. What do you take it out of? Fuck, dude. What are they called? Oh my god, not a black and mild. You take them out of something. Yeah, like Dutches or Swishers. And you take the tobacco out and then you put in weed. No, I'm thinking of backwood. Yeah, backwoods.
The totally
yeah, dude, whenever I see somebody buy a backwood and just smoke it straight, that's unk shit. That's unk shit. You shouldn't smoke tobacco at all. You shouldn't smoke at all. But when you go to a gas station, you see some guy buy fucking backwoods, just rip them outside of the fucking gas station. I'm like, you're like 65. I'm like, you're an old man. You're an old man buying backwoods.
Biased committee worked tirelessly to defend tobacco.
More doctors smoke Camels. You'll feel better when you change to
Philip Morris launched light and low tar cigarettes to give smokers a safer alternative to quitting. But these products were just as bad, and Philip Morris knew this. They even tweaked the product to make it hit harder by freebasing it, a chemical process you may recognize from things such as crack. They also tried their best to quietly target the youth, saying today's teenager is tomorrow's potential regular customer. But despite their PR efforts, Big Tobacco—
What country do you think smokes the most? I know Asian countries continue. Years ago, it used to, every country just smoked a lot. I think it's probably France and Japan. I think French people I think it's like 1 out of 3 Frenchmen smoke cigarettes. What countries smoke cigarettes? Ooh, Chinese people do smoke a lot of cigarettes. What countries smoke cigarettes the most? Oh, wow. Would have never guessed. I don't think anybody's even typed these. Hold up. North Macedonia. 39% of adults. Males, 43%. Wait, this is such an interesting... France is up there. This is such an interesting article. North Macedonia, 39% of adults smoke cigarettes. In France, 30%. 28% of women, 31% of men. 66% of men in Timor. Greece is also high. It's, yeah, Europe. Palestine, a lot of people. Hungary, Papua New Guinea, Turkey, France, Indonesia. Also, it's a lot of countries with, like, stress, too. It's not just a nicotine addiction. Like, the more, like, shit countries are going through, more people smoke cigarettes. United States, it's 9%. 9.6% of the United States smoke cigarettes. Yeah, it's like middle of Europe, like Eastern Europe, and then Asia. Canada, 8.4%.
tobacco was getting cooked. And
what about weed? I don't know if they have stats on that, because weed's still legal in a lot of countries. What countries smoke the most weed? Stereotypically, I'm going to guess Jamaica. Israel? "14% of Israelis smoke." There's no way that's true. Is weed legal in Israel? Decriminalized for private use over the age of 18. Bro, what? Italy, 10.2%. This is in 2020. List of countries by annual prevalence of cannabis. Papua New Guinea is the most. Okay, no, that stat's got to be wrong. Israel is still 14%. But United States, 21%. This is of adults. Palau, Canada is the second highest, 27%. But hasn't weed been legal in Canada for a long time? And you only have to be 18 to smoke weed in Canada.
In 1994, Congress called them in for questioning in what would become one of the most infamous moments in corporate history.
Let me ask you first, and I'd like to just go down the row, yes or no. Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
I don't. Cornball.
I believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
But did you notice how they all said believe? This was a legal trick to avoid being punished for lying under oath. And it did work. None of these guys went to jail, but after 2 years of backlash, all of them had lost their jobs. In 2006, a court ruled that Big Tobacco had lied, misrepresented, and deceived the American public in...
Didn't Big Tobacco also get rid of Juuls as a competitor? So then like we've introduced also like booth market vapes into the business, whereas like Juuls are still legal in like Europe.
Every way physically possible with little, if any, regard for individual illness and suffering. As punishment, they had to put corrective statements on their packaging. Tobacco still kills.
Dude, I said that whenever we talk about cigarettes, I say it. Dude, in the US, it's still so lackluster. They'll have like a small thing that says smoking kills in the US if you buy a pack of cigarettes. If you're in Mexico and you buy a pack of cigarettes, it'll literally be somebody on life support dying, and it'll say fumar equals cancer. No fumar.
Over 7 million people a year. That's over 19,000 a day.
I'm like, that gets the message across. You see somebody dying on the package.
Philip Morris's Marlboro Man changed the world, but 5 of them are now dead from smoking-related illness.
Wow.
Based off body count alone, Philip Morris may be the most evil company ever. But what if evil was about more than just fatalities? A lot of people accuse the $13 trillion asset management company BlackRock of buying up the single-family housing supply, pricing out normal people from ever owning a home. But they're only directly involved in other forms of real estate. There's a different company that's really buying the house you want. And it's actually the company that created BlackRock. Blackstone. They named it like that just to be annoying. Blackstone is the biggest landlord in the United States, using their infinite money supply from rich investors to swoop up housing specifically after market crashes. To Blackstone, the housing shortage is great news because it gives them pricing power, allowing their rents to grow much faster than inflation and sometimes at double the market rate. Blackstone also formed a company called Invitation Homes that now holds the largest number of single-family rentals in the US.
84,000 homes.
In 2024, they had to refund $48 million for scamming their renters with junk fees and misleading them about eviction policies after the CEO had instructed staff to juice this hog. There are plenty of other turbo landlords outbidding normal people for homes and plenty of other tactics they use to milk their tenants, like monopolistic AI-powered rent pricing services and ignoring repairs. But according to these companies, they're actually the good guys.
If we think the American dream is embodied in a suburban home with a yard and a white picket fence, then I think we're making the American dream much more accessible.
Rent your American dream.
You can rent the American dream.
But to be fair,
why would you want to own the home when you could just pay like $3K a month for it? Like,
of the $2 trillion of US homes sold in 2024, corporate overlords only bought 0.3%. Their purchases are concentrated in certain neighborhoods, so if you're in the Sun Belt or living in a mobile home, you might feel their wrath. But companies like Blackstone didn't create the cost of living crisis. They just found a way to profit off it. But this next company is evil in every possible way. In 1996, Purdue Pharma launched a painkiller called OxyContin. During the release party, Purdue owner and cartoon villain Richard Sackler said the new drug would bring a blizzard of prescriptions that will bury the competition. And he wasn't lying. Purdue launched a massive Oxy marketing campaign with an army of sales reps incentivized with large bonuses. They went over to
Jinxie's drunk as fuck. It's 3 p.m. What are you talking about? Well, he's not even on my team, so if he throws the event, that's awesome.
Yes. Bro, high ground is kind of bad, no, chat?
Oh my god, he's drinking. Is that a mango heart?
Oh, did you update beer counter to 2, by the way?
Two beers.
Well, when you tap out of your game, you got to drop.
2 beers. Brother, play the replay of me taking 10 screwball shots on stream and eating eggs with my hands.
Doctors and falsely claimed that Oxy's addiction risk was less than 1%, and that normal signs of patients being addicted, like asking for higher doses and early refills, didn't mean they were addicted. It meant they were pseudo-addicted, and the solution was a higher dose. Purdue held conferences and flew out thousands of doctors.
Once the tourney drops in an hour and a half. We're probably going to get through like 2 videos. I forgot that this would take me like an hour and a half to react
to tell them how awesome OxyContin was, and the drug started bringing in billions. But there was one small...
My friend acted drunk off a 2.5% beer. You just got to give him the 0% Heinekens and just be like, dude, you're hammered. Give them like 0% Heinekens, be like, bro, you're fucking blasted.
Problem. In 2001, a prosecutor gave a conservative estimate that Oxy had killed 59 people in his half of the state. Richard Sackler responded to this in a private email, saying, "This is not too bad. It could have been far worse."
Yeah, everyone could have died. That probably would have been worse.
Far worse. More and more people began getting addicted, and oxy overdoses were kind of becoming a serious issue. On top of that, in 2007, Purdue was forced to pay a $600 million fine for false advertising. Richard Sackler's PR strategy of hammering on the abusers in every way possible didn't seem to be working, because by the 2010s, all of this negative publicity was hurting the oxy market. But Purdue had one genius plan to recapture lost sales. They hired McKinsey. McKinsey is a management consulting company. They get paid an insane amount of money to tell businesses what to do. When Walmart hired them in the early 2000s, they told the company to cut costs by dropping employee benefits. When they worked with Allstate Insurance, they invented the legendary deny button. So needless to say, McKinsey and Purdue Pharma were the perfect match. McKinsey cooked up what they called the OxyContin Sales Engine Turbocharge Plan. It involved advertising how Oxy reduces stress while countering the emotional messages from mothers with teenagers that overdosed. McKinsey also suggested giving refunds to pharmacies for every customer who got addicted. But even Purdue was like, bro, come on, that's too far. There's no way you just said that. With McKinsey's help, Purdue went on a generational marketing run, and opioids were printing them money. But by 2019, they were
Wait, they were legally allowed to get prescription opioids for like back pain? Treatment of chronic
on a generational marketing run, and opioids
just fucking geeked off opioids.
Were printing them money. But by 2019, they were facing some lawsuits. 1,000 lawsuits. This is not too bad. It could have been far worse. $2 trillion of lawsuits.
Why do you think so many old people had issues with pills? A variety of reasons. I mean, like, it's not just I don't think it was just from Purdue. I think it's also just like, yeah, you have a problem, you get prescription drugs. Like right now, if you have surgery, you still get prescription opioids. You can get addicted to them. And then also like people coming back from war. I think it was a mixture of things. Obviously, I think it was majority this company, but like a lot of people that came back from like the Vietnam War were like turbo addicted to drugs because you got drafted. You were in a high stress scenario, just constantly high out of your mind to just deal with it.
Declared bankruptcy, and in 2020, they were found guilty for conspiracy to defraud the United States and offering illegal kickbacks to doctors. They reached a $7.4 billion settlement with $6.5 to be paid.
Facts so fucked up. I mean, that's why like people talk. I mean, when people talk about the draft right now, like if that were ever to get in place, I don't know. It would be bad, bro. That, and then they also had fragging problems, which is where you kill your fucking allies. Like people in Vietnam would like kill their friends, like losing their minds.
By Richard Sackler's family. Luckily, they've stashed away a lot more than that, so
I'm dodging. Oh, I'm fucking 100. If I ever got drafted, I am not going. I am not going. A conscientious objector, if that doesn't work, I'll just fucking eat the prison sentence. Like, yeah, fuck that. I think they're on crack if they think they could actually draft anyone in the United States that's Gen Z. Also, I'm on the later. If you're 20, you're first to go. The way a draft would work is if you're 20 years old, you would be the first drafted. They go 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 19, 18. So they go 20 to 25, and then they jump back if they get through everybody.
They'll be fine. The supplier of the raw ingredients for the opioids was actually a name you might recognize. Johnson & Johnson, the company known for bangers like putting asbestos in baby powder.
I just turned 20. That sucks.
Aggressively selling cancer-worsening drugs and making the Wish.com version of the COVID vaccine. They had to pay $5 billion. A few other opioid pushers added another 21, and McKinsey paid $650 million. No one from these companies went to jail, except for one guy at McKinsey for obstructing justice. Not only did these companies' schemes cost hundreds of thousands of lives, but they also permanently damaged trust in the entire industry. If you wonder why people are skeptical of medicine and pharma, this is why. Purdue is the most evil company of the modern age, but to find the most evil company ever,
there's something at what is the most evil company ever?
We need to go back in time. Spices. are something you take for granted today, but back in the 1600s, they were the ultimate status symbol. Displaying your spices was like displaying gold bars, but their supply mostly came from a handful of islands in Indonesia, and the Dutch wanted in on this. So they went to their top merchants.
You know, most of the cinnamon, sorry, it just made me think of that. You know, most of the cinnamon that you actually consume in a given day isn't actually cinnamon. It's like a cheaper alternative, still from like a root of sorts, but it's, oh, the Silk Road. You know, what company?
I mostly came from a handful of islands in Indonesia, and the Dutch wanted in on this. So they went to their top merchants and said, here's how we're getting those spices. All you guys will merge together to form one massive company. We'll call it the Dutch East India Company. And for funding, we'll get a bunch of investors to pull together money for you. In exchange, they'll get a piece of your bounty, your supply, your stock. Yes, we'll call it stock. They'll own stock in your company. All right, now that we invented capitalism, go conquer Indonesia. Sure. Oh wait, one more thing. You want to use the army? In 1621, the Dutch East India Company massacred 90% of the Bandanese population. Then they enslaved all the survivors, which was only like 1,000 people, so they imported more slaves from all around the world to run their spice monopoly. They went on to conquer the majority of Indonesia, take Sri Lanka for its cinnamon, and run up a colony in South Africa, all while destroying entire villages and burning down rival crops to keep their market dominance. These brutal conquests gave the Dutch all the spices they ever wanted, but the British wanted in on this too. So they started the British East India Company and conquered India with an army bigger than Britain's actual army. Then they started selling opium to China, which led to mass addiction. China was like, stop. The British East India Company was like, back in India, after facing 100 years of land seizures, economic destruction, and racism, the locals revolted. The British East India Company destroyed this rebellion with mass executions and village burnings. But their atrocities were becoming a bit too mainstream, so Britain dissolved the company in 1874 and took control of India itself. The East India Companies were uniquely evil. Other companies used slave labor, but the East Indias ran their entire empire on it. Some companies
ran their entire empire and also slaughtered the majority of the people that lived in those areas.
Invade countries, but the East Indias destroyed countries. Modern corporations run aggressive pharmaceutical sales tactics, but the East Indias did it first. But all of these companies have one thing in common. They were driven by the exact same pursuit.
Stocks. They invented that.
It's a pursuit that's done incredible things for humanity, but go too far, and humanity pays the price. The two most evil companies ever are long gone now, but the endless pursuit of profit is very much alive.
I'm actually going to say that was one of the best videos I think I've ever watched on stream. I think Jack Pockets is the most underrated YouTuber that I've seen this year. It's not even close. My God. TikTok for single-handedly frying the attention span of generations to come. Yeah, honorable mention, not on the list. Like, these companies are objectively worse. Zai, thank you for the sub. Gage, thank you for the 3. My great-grandma was doctor for Albert Einstein. This top-secret information, so you cannot tell anybody. Joe Bartolozzi has to mod Gage, man. It was his dying wish. No. Bean and Cheetah for the sub. Queen Smitty and Cheetah for the sub. Slice Yarn and Queen for the sub. Caden, Harry, Mika, VM, Rapid, Garrison for the sub. Stop for the 3. 22, never been drunk before. I don't like the taste of alcohol. But I would like to socially drink without the strong alcohol taste. Any drink recommendations that are good so I don't have a strong alcohol taste? I mean, some sort of mixed drink. I don't know what. It would really depend on the place. Like, somebody said soju. You could taste the alcohol in soju. It's just, not that bad. Kombucha. Kombucha's like 0.02% alcohol. ABV. Yeah, I don't know. There's like sweeter mixed drinks probably. Ooh, ciders. You would like a cider. Somebody said a Summersby. That's a good one. I don't know if they have Summersby in the United States though. Yeah, like an apple cider. Not apple cider vinegar, but like apple cider alcohol. Ciders. Alcoholic. Like, what are brands of ciders? Just like a hard cider, like an Angry Orchard. Very sweet, unhealthy, but they have alcohol. You have the sub, Gage. Thank you for the 3. Dude, I don't know like why I'm getting spammed. Gage, man, I'm not modding you, and your great-grandma was definitely not the doctor for Albert Einstein. Clifton Jar for the sub, Juke. Thank you for the 5. Somebody when I school, this have the grades addicted to ecstasy. They take it at school all the time. That is horrible. Adrian, I send for the sub. OV and the sub. Dead for the 3. My sister's going prone. Is so prone to go. My sister's is so prone to going to the hospital that after she gave birth, her insurance dropped her. Oh my god. So beat sleepy for the sub. Banks, thank you for the 3. United are going to trickle all over you. Tech Note, so you for the sub. Bobby, Ange for the sub. Sean, Lynn, John, thank you for the 1700 biddies. Jalentine money for the sub. Favorite strain of weed, don't have one. Brick for the sub. Soapy, thank you for the 4. Call Night 88 last night because I saw a video of you speaking about it. Thank you. Well, I'm glad I was able to help, and I hope that you're getting the help you need, bro. Soapy, thank you for the 4. I'm glad you called 988. I hope you're okay. Zeke and Maui for the sub. Parn Kale for the sub. Mine parried for the sub. Gunner and X for the sub. Misty for the sub. Big, thank you for the 3. 2H for the sub. Gage for the 3. Starting a pyramid scheme, and I'm going to get caught in it, and then I'm going to say you. Then I'm going to say you, and then you're going to be in generational debt. Tester for the sub. 2 for the sub. All right, yo, I'm going to go piss real quick, and then we're going to hop into the next video. Oh. We back. All right. Dude, we're going to have time for like 2 more videos, and then we're going to have to hop on CS. Thank you for the 5. Is there anybody check why I got timed out yesterday? DJ and Loving for the sub. Jess, if half for the sub. I could check real quick, but great video just watched. Horrible what people do with the power anyway. Love the beer. Thanks for being a great streamer. Thank you. Pierre for the sub. Joe, thank you for the 3. Gage there. Thank you for the 3. Said please, question mark, no. Gage, I feel bad you're sending bits, man. Half your messages don't really make sense, and you just keep asking for mod. Please stop. I'm sorry. Thank you for the biddies, though. You asked me to follow you, and that's why you got timed out. Stream Elements said don't self-promo. I don't know why they timed you out. Maybe a bot. Like a bot message flagged it. HX and Aiden for the sub. Strike for the sub. KW for the 3. If you didn't have Alpha Gal for a day, what would you eat? Steak. Smash burgers. That's about it. Refilling my cart with my old carts right now. Times are hard. What? Like the bottom of the barrel juice you're putting... Or not juice. Oil you're putting in everything else. One CS turning in 1 hour and 20. All right, we're going to watch this video. I'll save this FBI one for another day. All right, chat. Lock in. Next vid. Dare for the sub. Cork for the 3. Hold up. Tourney still on? Yeah. Who's your team for CS tourney? Don't know. Drafting at 4:30. Dirt for the sub. Little rundown here, chat. Reacts into drafting CS tourney at 4:30 into the CS tourney. Tomorrow, I am doing random games, maybe games with the guys. Probably live around 3:34. Tuesday, not live. Wednesday is going to be Marvel Rivals with Kingsman. They go to Marvel Rivals into a show match. That'll probably be around like 3:30 into horror games. But a lot of Marvel Rivals on Wednesday. Thursday, early React day. Friday Reacts, F Cancer charity stream. Saturday, not live. Sunday, random games shit with Ron. Next Monday, random horror games. Next Tuesday, Reacts, Dollar Shave Club / COD Endowment charity collab event. And then I'm gone the 25th to the 30th. Posting YouTube every day while I'm gone, but I will be filming videos, not streaming, though, and then we'll be back running out stream. Then we have an Etsy review. We're going to do a CSGO case opening stream soon. Tier list soon. Bunch of other shit. If you have any videos you want to watch, games to play videos, games, Shy, thank you for the 3. Inspired me to do philosophy, not in college, where I keep up the great streams. Thank you. Fluffy, thank you for the 3. Some War Thunder content creators. I'm probably not going to collab with anybody in War Thunder. Fluffy, I'm sorry. I have literally, out of every game that I could play right now, War Thunder's not really in the front mind. Burger for the sub. I appreciate it. I know you're a fan of War Thunder, but I'm letting you know, man. You're not getting a War Thunder collab stream anytime soon. Roosas for the 3. Have an amazing stream. Appreciate it. I just don't want you to like do work trying to like figure out streamers that I could stream. I'm not going to stream War Thunder soon. All right, lock in. Lock in. Fewest world records ever. Humans have athletically peaked.
This is where it all began. The original elite athlete was average, at least.
Let's go back in time tonight.
Average body type. And then...
Well, the Olympics are a skewed version of what the athletic build was, because the Olympics used to be an average everyday guy. Like, pro athletes used to not be able to compete in the Olympics. That's like a fairly new thing that they're allowed to, you know, compete. Hold up. What the fuck is that stuck on? Whatever.
Something extraordinary happened.
Really? Yeah, I don't know what date they changed that. When could pros compete in the Olympics? 1986. So before 1986, you weren't allowed to be a pro athlete. You just had to be like an everyday average guy that just like ran or fucking did random shit. IOC allowed individual sports federations to determine their own eligibility rules. NBA players were permitted to compete for the first time in basketball in the Olympics in 1992. Professional boxers were the first time eligible to compete in the Summer Games in 2016. Hockey players in 1998 from the NHL. So that's like a fairly new thing. Even though, yeah, even so, before then, the average body of like an athletic man was smaller.
Then something extraordinary happened.
Smashing the world record! Unbelievable! He's done it again!
Basketball players got taller. Shot putters got larger. Gymnasts, smaller. All these highly specialized body types.
Dude, it is wild when you watch the Summer Olympics and you see like a gymnast that's like 4'8", 4'10". Like, wow.
Chasing one goal. The human limit. Like our universe, the ideal...
I don't think it's like genetically like... I think even at the top, nobody knew the meta in video game terms. Like, there were people that were 6'5", in the, you know, the 1900s. That just wasn't known to be the meta, right? Like being a gymnast and being like 5'8" was like normal. And then they found out like, hey, like the smaller you are, I assume they found out, hey, the smaller you are, the more tricks you're able to do, the better you're able to actually perform. And I don't think people were like breeding towards that. I think it was just like, hey, you're 6'10", maybe you should play basketball.
Body type for different sports accelerated out from this beginning. But unlike our universe, the rate is slowing. Athletes have kind of settled.
Shot putters are the heaviest. Oh, for Olympic sports. I was going to say, I assume like sumo wrestlers have probably remained very stagnantly the same since like the inception of the sumo tradition. Like sumo wrestlers have always been like 400 pounds, right? Or just like bigger.
Universe, the rate is slowing. Athletes have kind of settled into their body types, a natural artificial selection, so to speak. Even in the NBA, where we saw height skyrocket for decades, it has plateaued recently. In fact, many believe that the 92 Dream Team would beat today's team.
Hell no. I'm not even an expert on basketball, but I know I'm almost certain that like modern NBA and like pro teams would dog any team from 40 years ago. What the fuck? Actually, no shot. Dude, like the pro team then versus now. The heights have stagnated in the NBA primarily because there's like a limit on mobility for really tall guys, right? Like same thing with like track running. Like Usain Bolt was like an anomaly. He was like 6'5", 6'6". It's like once you surpass that height, you get slower. Like you can't compete. You have advantages, but that's why like Victor Wembanyama is like some like feat in the NBA because he's like super tall, but also moves like he's like 6'5". You know, it's very rare you have some guy that's like 7'8" and able to fucking run around.
Thinking about this over the last few weeks, watching the Olympics, I couldn't help but wonder, are athletes still getting more athletic?
Well, a big mixture of it is the innovation of technology. Like people do argue track-wise that some of the earlier like world record holders, when they used to run on like fucking ash and shit, would smoke some of the guys now because you have starting blocks and track shoes and you're running on a track surface that's meant for speed, whereas you used to just have to run.
The atmosphere is...
So I think it's a mixture of shit. I think it's better training, better athletics, better genetics, finding a more niche person for the sport, and then also just technological advancement.
Absolutely electric.
A Berlin summer night in 2009, the most fitting name in sports history, gave us exactly what we craved.
Set. You can't catch him. Usain Bolt. Look at the time. Absolutely.
There is no one on this planet or any other one that we know of that has ever run that fast.
Breaking the 100-meter world record, this was a phenomenal feat, but
I would pay so much money to be able to see that live, dude. And I feel like people make fun of track a lot. People don't like track and swimming because they're like, oh, it's just like it's just times, dude. They're fast. But I'm like, you don't get how quick these guys are moving. Like I've said it, and a lot of people say it on social media every Olympics. Get an average guy to run with these guys. Because you see Usain Bolt and he smokes these dudes that are also running fast, and you're like, okay, yeah, he's like 2 strides ahead of them. He's fucking 2-3 strides against the next fastest guy in the world. Like, that's fucking wild. This race alone had like fucking 3 people run like sub-10s? 4 people run sub-10s?
Time has gone.
That's unheard of, dude. He's almost running 30 miles an hour.
On. I believe that this represents something far grander than we could have appreciated at the time. It's not that it's just a world record. It's how long it stood a world record. Take a look at this real quick. It's the record for the longest record. All the way at the top is Usain Bolt, and at these Olympics, nobody was seriously close to his record.
It's Noah Lyles!
So what about other events? Are world records just standing longer now? For the men...
Bro, you need another... Dude, for you to have another guy be... This is a Joe Bart take. I'm not a fucking expert here, but I did run track, so I'm just going to have my own fucking take here. For another guy to beat Usain Bolt's record, you can't be having these guys that are like 5'10" to 6'2". You need another 6'6" fucking demon that's fucking 195 pounds shredded and just runs at an unheard pace. It's genetics. At that point, all the guys that are popular in the track scene now are fast. They're not tall enough. They can't run. They're not tall enough, but they don't want to be too tall because then you get slower. You need that. You need another Usain Bolt. You need another guy that's like 6'5".
For the men,
that's got the genes. There are guys that are 6'5" and are pro track runners, but they're just not going to beat the record.
In the 100, 200, and 400, we have only seen one world record since 2009. And for the women, we haven't seen a single world record in the sprints since the 80s.
Lawrence Griffith Joyner blowing away the field.
It's almost as if...
Dude, running a 10.49 as a woman is like, you are the fastest person ever. Like, that is fucking crazy.
Athletes have gotten so fast, they're slowing down. At least the rate of progress. Were the peaks of the 80s and 90s just a byproduct of steroid use? What's going on here? To understand this, let's go back closer to the beginning when the elite athlete was more average.
Nobody in this chat could run a 10.4. No, there's like five or six people that could probably run a 10.4 in this chat. My average audience member, I've like, there's probably like 66% men in this chat right now, maybe 70%. And of that, the average audience range is like 16 to 22. Of that, there's 3 or 4 people that could run a 10.4. Everybody claiming they could run a 10.4 probably can't run a 10.4. But there's people that can run a 10.4 in this chat. 10.4 at 10.4 as a guy, you're not going pro. You're a good runner, but like you know you're gonna run D1.
Same city, same event.
Jesse Owens.
Owens ended up running a 10.3 in
Like for you to go pro in the 100 as a guy in 2026, and you want to get signed to like Adidas or Nike, and you're not just like some famous, social media guy, like getting signed off of like, showmanship versus actual raw talent, you're probably going to need to run consistent 10 flats. In the 9s, you're going to have to touch the 9s. You're going to have to touch the 9s pretty frequently. In hurdles is also crazy. World record, I don't think that's been beaten since 2012.
Jesse Owens.
Owens ended up running a 10.3 in Berlin. He set the world record by
10.3? 10.3 on whatever fuck-ass equipment and track this is. Bro, this is like dirt. I think it's actually like cinder or some shit.
Event.
Jesse Owens.
Owens ended up running a 10.3 in Berlin. He set the world record by running a 10.2 earlier that year. But if he had run that this year, he wouldn't have even qualified for the Olympics. In fact, he'd get dusted by teenagers. Closed skills, such as sprinting, provide
there's like 16-year-olds that would smoke him.
A nice glimpse into athletic progress. The measurables are very clean, and clearly here, this is a sign that we are getting faster as a species. Or is it? Let's consider a few items that were highlighted by writer David Epstein. Bolt started out of block.
Rough last name pull. Rough last name pull.
Specially fabricated carpet designed to propel him forward. Owens started out of holes that he dug with a gardening trowel. Not quite the same thing. Experts suggest that if he had blocks, the difference would have been roughly 0.1 to 0.2 seconds. Bolt also ran on a modern-day track, an embossed rubber surface that enhanced his grip with every single stride. Owens ran on ash, a cinder track, which is ash from burnt wood. That surface stole far more of his energy, and it's no coincidence that if you look at the first sub-10 in the 100 meter for the men, it was run after they moved away from these cinder tracks. Experts suggest this was another 0.15 to 0.2 seconds. Bolt also had far better shoes and training and development, but even if we don't count that, biomechanical analysis that looked at the speed of Jesse Owens' joints suggests that if they had run under the same circumstances, he wouldn't have been 14 feet behind. He would have been within one stride.
Yeah, he would have been a modern day pro. He would have been able to compete because it's different with games of skill. When you're playing games that need athleticism and skill, I'm not saying that track doesn't have skill, because it does have skill and it does have technique, but you can put a lot of guys from 80 years ago up against guys now sprinting, right? Because genetically, they're just fucking monsters. But in the NBA, for example, they get better. They have better training. They know how to move the ball more. They know how to move their body better. Not because, genetically they're better, but just they're better players. That's why when you see the shit where it's like, oh, the Michael Jordan Bulls would compete against the USA team. No, the fuck they wouldn't. They would get mauled. They would get murdered. It wouldn't even be close.
There have been a few sprinters who have given us a few examples of this.
Let's go fucking 80 points in the first quarter.
Sean Crawford famously took on a zebra on dirt, running a 10.89 on Man vs. Beast, far below what he usually ran. Canadian 2016 bronze medalist Andre DeGrasse ran on a track crafted to be similar to Owen's, and he ran an 11 flat, 1.1 seconds slower than his 9.9. So, considering an alternate...
Well, that's also because he's not used to the track. Like, when you move surfaces and you change what they're doing, they're going to get worse before they get better.
Universe, where Owens and Bolt were both born in 1986, this race would have been a lot closer.
And you can say the same thing about virtually every running event. The first 4-minute mile run by Sir Roger Bannister was on a cinder track as well. And you may have noticed that distance racers have been breaking records left and right. Why? Well, the shoes. And no, this is not a Nike ad. Kind of wish it was, though. Our boy Sir Roger here was not wearing the Nike Alpha Flies.
To get a better understanding of this, I spoke with the globally recognized biomechanist Dr. Peter Weyand, the chair of kinesiology at TCU, who specializes in speed.
When the advanced footwear technologies came along, all the records for distance running, the record books have been almost entirely rewritten since 2016, not because the athletes are better or the performance.
I still have the take that Kipchoge, the marathon runner that runs 26 miles with an average mile split in the mid to low 4s, is a feat of humanity that will probably not be broken for quite some time. Kipchoge runs a 2-hour marathon. That's insane. That's like, I glaze that every time we talk about track and athleticism. Like, that guy is, dude, his worst mile is better than the best mile you could run one time. Like, he runs 26 miles in a row. His worst mile is still better than the best mile you will ever run in your life.
Are just because the shoes are better.
A barrier once thought impossible is now broken.
It's a form
159. Jesus.
Of mechanical doping, tech improvements causing records to fall, at least on land. What about in water?
Who's the woman that just broke like 10 fucking records or some shit this past Summer Olympics? She's a swimmer, and she won in such a lead that, like, you couldn't even see anybody else on the screen. Katie Ledecky. Yeah, she was so good that nobody was even close.
In the 28 individual swimming events that'll be contested in Paris,
because athletically there's less technical things you can do. Oh, I see. Because in swimming, they can't give you technological improvements. It's just like Speedo, goggles, swim shorts. It's just like you need the right build and right athleticism.
Close to half of the top 10 times have been posted in the last 4 years. Why? Well, part of it is technology. Gutters added to the sides of pool to decrease turbulence, and high-speed swimsuits that decreased friction.
I am wearing the fastest suit in the world.
Caused these guys' times to plummet. But even after all that technology is taken into account, the frequency of world records falling in swimming is significant in comparison to running. So why is there this difference? One simple reason. We've been runners for a long time, and it's been a while since we were swimmers, at least natural full-time swimmers.
At some point, you had the shift from life in water.
Was that Snoop Dogg learning how to, like, fucking competitively swim?
From life in water to life on land.
And by the way, I put a lot of time and research into this channel, so if you're enjoying...
Oh, I'll fucking subscribe, buddy. This is a great video. Oh, I already am subscribed. Never mind.
Enjoying this, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Thanks.
If it isn't painfully clear, this is a very unnatural movement. And running, we've been doing it for a long time, so we've had a lot of time to perfect it. So while technology is a big contributor to development, it's not everything. And for that, we can look to the game that's grown more than any over the last century.
Soccer. Oh. The NBA.
Basketball. Take a look at the Celtics game. Bob Cousy.
Bro, teams are also better because they're like pulling the actual genetic like groups of people they need for each position. Like you see so many people that are like all the guys that are like over 7 foot are always like foreign players. Like the tallest guys are always like Jokic or somebody that's like, you know, from Europe, not from the U.S. Well, I don't even know positions in basketball, if I'm being honest. What position does Nikola Jokic play? Don't know. Center? Yeah, the centers are always foreign. Isn't it like point guards are always from the U.S.?
This is 32
like shooters.
Years before the Dream Team. Which era
quarterback
do you think had better players?
These games are 32 years apart.
CS tourney? Yeah, I'm in a CS tourney today, JoJo.
The same distance of time as the Dream Team is.
Probably cooked. I'm a captain. Yasuo, Lucky, List, TB, Obi, and Alex for the sub. Bread, TF, Ev, Xmas, Mr. Dart, and Abo for the sub. Yabo for the 3. Rita 76, 40 yard. That's horrible. Noah, Cam, and Joshua for the sub. Tardy for the 3. Favorite streamer just started streaming. You think I give advice for streaming? I stream R6 content, and I keep getting hate. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I don't really know, man. I think you just got to constantly improve your content, and I think it is really hard to get big in the R6 world, especially if you're not really goated. It's just the take I have, man. It's just trial and error. The advice I'm going to give you is if you just main one game and you're not really good or really funny, why are you playing that game? Like, yeah, all the players are already. I can't draft you, JoJo. It's a closed tourney. I can't draft you. It's 24 players that were pre-selected, and then I'm one of the captains that's picking 3 people. I would have gotten you, JoJo. Trust me. Anyways, no, but like with streaming, like as an example, Rainbow Six, maybe it's a little bit different. I'm gonna give an example of League. If you're playing League and you're not one of the best, sorry, my hair is pissing me off. If you're playing League and you're not one of the best, like, people, you're not one of the best players of the specific character or champ that you're playing, why are you streaming it? If you're in gold elo in fucking League, why are you streaming League? If you want to get big streaming and you're playing Rainbow and you're not top 500, do variety. Is my take. Right? Because there's people that are anomalous. You enjoy it? Yes. But I'm saying if you're trying to grow for fun, yes. I'm saying, why are you streaming it? Chat. You can't say, brother's asking for tips for streaming and growth and saying he's getting hate. What should he do? I'm telling you, if you want to just stream, yes. If you want to just stream for fun, stream for fun. I'm saying if you're streaming for the goal of actually growing, you can't just main one game that you're mid at. Especially if you're not having funny commentary or doing something that separates you from an audience. You need to be clippable. You need to be, fucking funny. Like Gypsy, not the greatest Rainbow player of all time. Still really good. Very clippable guy, right? Funny as shit. It works. So you got to be clipping yourself. You got to be cross-platform posting. You have to be doing trial and error and understanding what the content space is about. Right? It's not as simple as going live and putting in the hours. The amount of people that stream and just go, I stream 10 hours a day. Why am I not growing? Because your streams suck. Right? That's why. That's literally why. I think it's a mixture of shit. It is RNG as well. It is luck. But if you're just streaming, you're not clipping, you're not cross-platform posting, and you're playing one game, you're not going to grow. How are people going to find you? How are you going to gain an audience? Are you just randomly going to get stumbled upon? You have to grow an audience elsewhere, transfer it over to Twitch, and then you could grow naturally from other people clipping you, from obviously just recommendations. But getting on the recommendation page on Twitch on the side tab is impossible if you have less than 30 viewers. So shout out your stream to your friends. Shout it out to your family. Have them watch you to give you a little bit of a boost. Start clipping content. Interact like you have an audience, even if you don't. I'm not saying talk to a chat that isn't there, but commentate your gameplay. The amount of people that stream to 5 viewers and don't talk is absurd. If somebody does come in, they're not going to stay because you're silently playing a video game. Some people ask me, hey, Joe, why do you game off stream? Why wouldn't you just stream it? Because sometimes I don't want to talk. And if I'm playing a game and I'm not talking, that's not entertaining, right? So it's like, it's honestly, man, if you watch content, you can understand and dissect what people want to see and then just pivot off of that with your own personality. I'm not saying copy other streamers, but I'm saying like understand, hey, like this is what works, this is what doesn't, this is what's working for me, this is what's not working for me. Clip your shit, post it elsewhere, blah, blah, blah. It's a long process. You're not going to blow up in a month. It's going to take years, right? That's the advice. Meat for the sub, uterus for the sub, cash and monkey for the sub. Mia, thank you for the 3. The beard is giving homeless, but in a Balenciaga way. Yeah, I can't wait to shave it. Yasuo for the sub, True, AJ and Prax for the sub, Lucky and TB for the sub, Evan Bread for the sub. But yeah, I mean, that's the advice. Like, I'm not saying you're necessarily doing anything wrong, but it's just like, I'm somebody, obviously I'm variety, so I'm going to know the most about variety streaming, but like, I do get a little upset when I see streamers main one game and get upset that they don't grow. You know, like Twitch is less, you know, in 2018, you used to be able to be a streamer just playing Fortnite, right? And there are people that just play Fortnite and just play League and just play Rainbow and just play, you know, FIFA. But it's like, that is growing, that is continuing to be less and less of a thing, right? Or that is starting to be less and less of a thing, like broad term. All right, hold up. Jojo said, if you want to practice, let me know. Well, the tournament, I have to draft in less than an hour, so I'm going to finish this video, then I'm probably going to play just like gun game or some bullshit. Accent and True for the sub, Tired for the sub, Marcel for the sub, Tribe, thank you for the 3. Been watching for 2 years, love the content. You got me through a lot of rough times, so I'm glad to be able to help, and I hope you're all right. Haiti, thank you for the 5, 2, and Prax for the sub. But yeah, Sam for the sub. That's just my advice, bro. Like, I don't think there's a cookie cutter method to grow. I think there's a million paths you could take to, you know, do content, but it's just like, you got to cross-platform post, and you got to trial and error, man. The amount of people that just do the same shit over and over, they stream the same fucking game, and they just go, oh, I'm putting in the hours, why am I not growing? You're looking at it at such a surface fucking level. It's not a 9 to 5. You can't just put in more hours and equate to more money and more views. That's not how it works.
To us today, the difference between a 1960s player and a 1990s player is glaring. The difference between...
Same thing with like subathons. Like, so many people do subathons and they're like, oh, the subathon's going to grow me. No, they don't. Subathons decrease viewership. They increase money momentarily, but like subathons is just like a rejuice. If anything, your views will go down, right, with a subathon.
A Dream Team player in today...
It's like sales. It's just marketing. It's just marketing. It's, hey, watch me, I'm funny. Hey, watch me, I'm good at a video game. Hey, watch me, I do this. And then all of its preparation to a 4-hour stream, 3-hour stream, 2-hour stream, 5-hour stream, 10-hour stream.
Is far less...
All right, lock back in. We got to finish this video.
1990s player and a 1990s player is glaring. The difference between a Dream Team player and today is far less significant. Why was there such a stark contrast between the 60s and 90s, but not the 90s and...
Because you had a bunch of unks playing basketball in the 60s, bro. That shit was terrible, dude. Somebody made a 3. It was like a fucking Super Bowl play.
Day.
Many factors have contributed to this. Population growth, more revenue to develop and attract more athletes, and just think of how growth works in general. When you're new to something, you tend to get better.
There weren't 3s in the 60s, really?
In the early stages. Bob Cousy was literally born before...
Like, look at that fucking photo, bro. Oh my God. Actual cornball. Sitting there. Don't let me cross your legs up now.
Before the NBA existed. He was born in a period that predated racial integration in basketball. The game,
yeah, big thing as well,
didn't have the same
all white guys
level of professional seriousness. Bob was the highest paid player ever making $25,000 annually. Is television and radio allowed for more resources and pay? The typical NBA body type exploded into outlier territory.
If you were 7 feet tall and born outside of the U.S. in 1945, you probably wouldn't have been found, at least by the NBA. That changed.
Well, and so many people that were genetically built to be NBA players didn't even know about basketball as a professional sport in that time.
Dramatically over a few decades. The percentage of 7-footers skyrocketed. However, these bigs weren't always coveted.
But that really emerged at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th.
Racist much? What do you mean racist much? Why do we keep bouncing in and out of sub only? Lil and Weave for the sub noob, thank you for the 5. Give it the best advice, did the same exact thing, was growing out of college stuff, but got out of the way and lost momentum. Sam and Marcel for the sub. Tribe, thank you for the 3.
Century.
That's Professor Timothy Olds, who, along with Professor Kevin Norton,
said racist much. Yeah, when you're in the 60s and you have only white middle-aged men only from the United States, they're probably going to be pretty dick at basketball. They're probably going to be pretty dick at most sports. You're getting one genetic demographic to play an entirety of a sport.
Published the original paper detailing this big bang of body types.
The general philosophical principle of the golden mean.
In the early 1900s, physical education instructors and coaches believed that the average body type was the best for all athletics.
There's a long tradition in philosophy going back to Aristotle. If you look at, for example, the balance of the humours, you had to have the right amount of the different humours to be a complete person. Any departure from the norm was seen as an abnormality and therefore in some ways pathological.
Perhaps better than any...
Jinxie's calling you? Yep, mods, get ready to ban that kid if Jinxie's not calling me.
Oh, why is he there? By the way,
bro, that jump is not easy, chat.
Not Chad, you're right.
Yup. Mods, time that kid out for a day.
Jinxie lock in, we're back in game, we're back.
Any sport, the NBA personifies this rapid shift in belief and player talent. And this explains why we see such a contrast from the 1960s to the Dream Team.
I don't even think Bob would have argued that. Sorry, Bob. Kind of roasting you.
Bob would have been on a fucking varsity high school team, bro. Maybe not even that. If you took 1960s best NBA player, he would be like a high school varsity player.
However, the comparison between the Dream Team and today, though, is much different. Dozens of comments on my previous video, numerous former players. There is a large contingent that believes this Dream Team would beat the Avengers of today. It's even got its own Colin Cowherd sample.
It would be grown-ups against the kids, and the Dream Team would roll.
The basketball is so much better now than it's ever been.
It's got its own serious schizophrenic Cowherd divide, and it's kind of understandable. The optics just aren't as measurably different here. I mean, they kind of are because these are action figures, and it's not real life. But in real life, it's kind of hard to tell.
At least on its surface, because there is a significant difference. We just have to take a step further. The human limit is not confined to tangible differences. There are strategic and skill advances that push us forward in massive ways. In my last video, I pointed to the fact that there wasn't a single player on today's Team USA who you could leave at 3. On the Dream Team, there were 7. Many commenters dismissed this point, primarily stating that the Dream Team was more physical, fundamental, and that shooting isn't everything, which suggests that the best basketball players and teams existed 32 years ago. We need to clear up this confusion, because once you understand a few key changes, you will hopefully realize this is not even a debate. In fact, many people on both sides are looking at this completely wrong. Schematic evolutions such as shooting more threes now versus posting up, they're more difficult to distill than Bob Cousy versus Magic Johnson. Sorry, Bob. So I want to show you a few key changes that will hopefully put this to rest. I went back and watched a few.
Bob Cousy would walk off the court crying, bruh. Imagine taking some random guy from the 60s and putting him against modern NBA players, or even like 80s NBA players.
Do these Dream Team games to break it down.
So after you control for the ridiculous amount of transition offense, from my count, Team USA had 91 possessions, 39 of them were transition offense possessions. What you find is very little movement and very little space. There were 19 post-up possessions in this game. That's about quadruple the NBA average today. Despite scoring 117 points, they only made 5 threes. For comparison purposes, the 2024 Team USA made 18 in their first game. Why are so many of these guys chucking like they're Steph Curry?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I guess one of them actually is Steph Curry, but what about the rest of them? What about LeBron, Embiid, Davis? Why don't they take their man down to the block like Malone, like Robinson, like Jordan did, like Barkley did? Why are they so soft?
Well, they're softer because they're smarter. This isn't just my belief. This is math. I will show you. And this revolution started with a rule change, one that benefited the defense. Yes, there was a rule change after the 90s that benefited the defense, one that inadvertently pushed our human limit and created better basketball players.
Before the rule change and in this Dream Team era, defenses couldn't help like they can today. They had to either double team or stick to their man. Even if it was Dikembe Mutombo out there, they had to respect him. That made it easier for guys like Malone and Jordan to score in post possessions or isolations. There just wasn't as much help defense.
Yo, this is the front of the remember one of the best movies, bro, Space Jam. The original Space Jam, bro. All those older NBA players, man.
He's not double
such a good movie.
teaming anybody. That's it.
Rule change made post-ups in isolations less effective.
Welcome to the Space Jam. Oh, bro, I gotta play the song now. Welcome to the jam. Space Jam. That song is fucking sick. Oh. New one's ass. I haven't seen the new one. Is it good?
Which is partially why you see less of them today. But more importantly, it revealed something that had been hidden in plain sight.
Just take a look at this possession real quick. I'm going to pause it. Patrick will only receive 2 points for this shot, 1 step inside the arc. If he had taken 1 step further back, he would have received 3. He would have received 1.5 times the points for 1 step back. That is not fair, but that is how basketball works. You get 3 behind the arc, 2 in front of it. And in today's NBA, players will make an 18-footer, which is about what this ends up being, 40% of the time. That's 0.8 points per possession. They would make a 20.5-footer about 38% of the time. That is 1.14 points per possession. For context, the difference between the top team, the Celtics, is 1.23, and my team, unfortunately, the Blazers, is 1.08. It's not even as big of a difference here.
One common misconception around this is that the NBA has gotten soft and become more of a selfish jump shooting league. Well, this isn't really accurate. Teams shoot just as many jump shots as they did in the 90s. What has
53%, mid-range has gone way down.
Changed is shot selection. Using these numbers straight from the NBA's website, even if we assumed the Dream Team was just as good at shooting, they'd be playing in a losing way. Per 100 possessions, assuming for NBA averages, it's a difference of about 10 points per game. You can throw MJ's mid-range in there, it still won't pencil out.
These are the types of strategic advances that push the human limit forward. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's go back to Owens for a second.
Out of the womb, he might have been just as built for the 100-meter as Bolt. How do we know this isn't true for our dreamers in a different way? The Dream Team grew up in an era where there was no development of the 3 because there was no 3. Players are smarter and unobjectively better shooters today, largely due to this discovery, but like all advances that have pushed the human limit, that does not take away anything from previous generations.
Would Pippen, Jordan, Drexler, and even the bigs have been able to develop a 3?
Video's so boring. Mods ban that fucking kid, dude. I'm done with chatters like this. I'm sorry, bro. You got 3 chats total. You're just being a fucking chud.
It's hard.
Leave.
Hard to deny they wouldn't have at least been better. And they would have had coaches telling them, I need you to take a step back. Not like in a confrontational way, like to shoot the 3.
So where does that leave us? Well, there have been
I don't know. I feel like it will suck if at some point in the future, like, world records just never get broken. Like, they get set, and then the Olympics every year is just kind of like this churned process of like, oh, this is the best person right now, which is obviously what it is in general. It's like, oh, you're the fastest man alive right now. But it's like watching a world record get broken and watching players get astronomically better over, decades of time is what's really fun about a sport.
Advances, strategic shifts, and more athletes playing adequate sports. Less new world records. Where is this limit? Where do we go from here?
Personally, I find all of this exciting and simultaneously terrifying. The Olympics provide us with this nice benchmark every 4 years, this line in the sand to see how far we've come as a species. And as humans, we will always be pushing up against that line. We will always be pushing the goalpost back. But as technology improves, there's at least one group I do not envy, and that is World Athletic Organization, the folks in charge of deciding what's legal, what's not, what is fair. At least there's some beauty in this. Our bodies are clearly limited, but our minds and spirits don't really seem to be. That is the human condition. That is what fuels progress.
Wow. Surreal to see an independent creator rival 30v30 quality. Can't wait to see how this channel blows up. Oh, this was made over a year ago. Wow. Tennis is so complicated, difficult. The top players just keep getting better because the big 4 weren't even near the limits. Another reason why sports is incredible. Yeah, I think it depends on the sport, right? You're gonna top out a lot quicker in a sport with a lower skill ceiling. Same thing with video games. Like, you're gonna see like people in the video gaming sense just top out. Like, the more complex the game is, the better it's going. The better the players are gonna get over time. Like, obviously, Fortnite, yeah. I mean, like, Fortnite, yeah. Like, over the years, dude, people have gotten astronomically better. It's just, like, the levels to that shit. Same thing with, like, hero shooters and other games like that. It's like the more complex the game is, the more parts to the game, whether it be a video game or a sport, the better the players are going to get over time. All right, I'm going to go piss, and then we're going to hop in CS before we do this draft. Balls Orlando, Myth Mix, I'm Perfect Aurora, thank you for the sub, Noob, thank you for the 5. Give it the best advice to the... All right, even that. All right, yo.